We have ignition.
Here we go.
We're back in business.
We're back, baby.
Back in the studio.
You had a good day, good week of training. You've kind of been going through it, man. We were talking about it. I love it. So you're freaking hammering, right? You're swimming on Saturday. You're biking. You're running. Sunday, right? It was a little bit less volume, but still enough to be like, okay, pretty serious. And then Sunday a little bit easier though, right? Like Saturday was your hard day, and then Monday was lighter volume, and then today you lifted with me. How do you feel, dude? Where are we at with training?
Saturdays are the beasts. Like by the end of the day on Saturday, I was literally a zombie, and I feel like it kind of. We've talked about this, but it's your energy level is just like way fewer peaks and way fewer valleys. Because last week all in, I think it was like 4.3 miles swimming, low 20 miles running. I can't remember exactly. Then like 90 miles biking for the week. And it's like we've said before, it's all like zone 2. So it's basically just trying to build up your aerobic capacity. And yeah, you literally just turn into like a drone.
Yeah.
Because you have to be. Because it's like 12 hours or 11 hours, I think, last week. And like, you literally just have to get to a point where it's without thinking too hard. You just get up and go. So yeah, I made it through. That was week 11 of this 30-week program. Now on to week 12, trying to keep getting in the gym and lifting a bit too, so I don't just melt away.
Yeah.
It's been good though. It's like, there's always peaks, and I mean, it's cyclical. So it's like every week by Saturday, you're just toasted. Monday and Tuesdays tend to be a bit easier. So you kind of like rebound. Like usually by Wednesday, I feel good. And then you just kind of go back into it. Yeah. And just keep grinding away. So, but yeah, I feel like starting to make some upgrades. I got a bike that I'm getting fitted for. So I start to, get the bike a little more dialed in and figured out. And then I got some new shoes. So, the biggest thing for me has been just struggling with shin splints. Yeah. Which is like always what happens when I start running once you get to like 20 miles a week.
Yeah. You mentioned you got these new shoes, you got fitted.
Yeah.
You had kind of old shoes. You had shoes that were like 3 years old, right? So is that, I know you said almost immediate impact, but for someone that's not a big runner, just explain maybe what that, the foot thing that you did do, that you got kind of scanned on your foot and then they made a sole for you. Yeah. Potentially maybe gets rid of some of the shin splint problems. I mean, a little bit of that's just volume. You're just, you're getting into it, but
I mean, it helps so much. I've done 2 runs with these new shoes. I mean, basically you go into this, like if you just look up any like performance running store, usually they have a scanner and it's free. You just walk in and stand on the scanner. It takes like 30 seconds. They just scan your foot and figure out like what your arches look like. And then like the guy was kind of looking at my ankles and just seeing basically like how strong they were. Cause I think depending on your ankles, they might have different things they can try to do. But he literally just went and grabbed like 3 pairs of shoes, and I tried them each on and walked a lap. And the ones that I ended up buying, like as soon as I put them on and walked, I was like, you could feel the difference. I felt like, because when I went in I did this Saturday as well, actually, after I biked. And I was like, so, like my shins were just kind of like killing me all day. And I like put these shoes on and just walked 100 feet. And it was like, the first lap, I was like, I don't really know. They just feel like I need shoes. But the second lap, it's like suddenly my foot, like the insole like kind of shaped to my, like morphed to my foot a little bit. And I just walked the second lap and it felt like I was getting like a massage in my shins. I was like, man, this is kind of crazy. Yeah. Just by like literally just lining up the right shoe build with the shape of my foot and my arches. So we'll see. Hopefully it gets better. Sunday I tried to run and I was just dead. I had to like walk half of it. But then yesterday I went for 5 miles and felt pretty good. Yeah. So starting to like, you can already kind of feel I'm starting to like recover just from using the right updated shoes.
Well, equipment's a big deal. We've talked about this. So upgrading your shoes, but the bike, I know you're talking about the bike too. You're getting fitted, right? So how much of a difference do you think that will make?
I mean, I think it makes a huge difference. Like all of this stuff, even with the swim, like I was using just like some like surf swimsuit, whatever you buy at Kohl's. And then I like a couple of weeks ago, I went and got an actual like whatever Ironman triathlon specific swimsuit, which is just like a bit more buoyant and also like compression material, and like basically it's like a little wetsuit material. Okay. And even putting that on, it's like I immediately cut like 10 seconds off of my 100-yard
well, there you go.
Swim pace.
Just
like literally just
things,
getting,
right?
Yeah. But it's like anything, like at the end of the day, you're really just doing it to like practice putting out the effort. So people can do it cheap. When I've done triathlons in the past, I did it cheap. It's just like now that I'm getting way more into it, you kind of, once you realize these things and like the little boosts you can unlock, it's kind of like part of the puzzle of just trying to figure it all out.
And well, you said it's like, it is kind of like a puzzle, right? You're trying to put it all together, trying to piece it. What piece have you put together the most in your opinion? Is it?
Well, I mean, especially when you get to where you're doing like 12 hours a week, it's like any little speed boost you get, you're like, oh, I can save 10 minutes here. Like,
this is a huge deal.
I'll spend $100 to save 10 minutes there.
Is it the swimming right now? You felt that, or is it more?
The swimming has been huge for, like when I started swimming 3 months ago, I could literally only go like 200 yards in a freestyle. And then now it's like on Saturday, I swam 2.4 miles just nonstop.
Dude.
I did it in like an hour 20, and I felt pretty good. I got out of that, and then
compare that to running
40 miles.
Just so people like a lot of people don't swim. Okay,
swimming is so much easier.
Yeah.
Swimming, I mean, first of all, it's upper body. So when you're doing like the biking, all this biking and running, which like you spend 80% of your training hours, 90% of your training hours just biking and running. So your legs are just always beaten up. So it's like it's nice when you just get in the pool and you're like, first of all, you get to just give your legs a break, and then you get to kind of like balance out your upper body. And the swimming is nice because you only go a couple miles. So it's like when you go swim for an hour, like you're basically doing the race distance wise. And so it's nice. It's just like a balancing thing. And they're almost like recovery workouts, just getting in the pool. Like you still work on your cardio a bit, but you also just get to kind of veg out for a little bit. And the first few times I went, it was like mentally I couldn't do it. Like it was driving me insane. Also just like getting comfortable with the breathing. The first couple times you're like, how am I going to just keep my face underwater for an hour? But you get comfortable with it. Like anything, you figure out the breathing, it becomes like second nature. And I'm like finally to the point now where I just enjoy it. And it's almost like a recovery workout. Like if I go bike for a bit and then have like a swim that day, like tomorrow I'm on a bike in the morning and then swim in the evening, and it'll be a nice recovery.
And this is just part of your schedule, right? You found a way to make this just part of your week, part of your month, part of your overall plan, right? Which I freaking love. But for a newbie, how did you do that? How did you figure it? I know you just kind of, I know you piecemealed it, but like now that you have this down, do you have more specifics now that you like feel really good about it? And I know Saturday's your harder day, but how do you plan your week? And I've talked to you about this, but just kind of explain that.
I mean, there's still days that you don't feel like doing it, honestly. But I mean, the biggest thing is just figuring out like the recovery stuff that works for you. I'm trying to get better about doing cold plunges because I think that is a big thing with my shins. I just haven't been icing them enough. So if I start doing like a cold plunge every day, I think that could be huge. But it's all just like, you just got to start doing it. It's like anything. Like you kind of start slow and like figure out how to weave it into your schedule. And then the big thing is like, you have to really want to achieve the goal. And I'm on a week 11 to 30. Like I'm not even doing a full Ironman of capacity each week yet.
Yeah.
But it's like, you just have to want it enough to like, but you basically have to do, again, it's a 30-week program. So whatever, that's like 200 days of consecutive commitment. And like each day is going to be a little bit harder than the one before. So like you have to decide 200 times, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So you have to really want to do it, right?
Dude, that's awesome.
Because you can't just want it for a week. You have to want it for.
This is long term. This is no joke. I mean.
Yeah, but I think like your body just, like I was saying, your energy levels change. And I think you get used to kind of the new energy levels, and it's kind of more how our bodies were like designed to be used. And so it does feel better. And like a lot of your little aches and pains go away, and you get like stronger in like peripheral ways you didn't expect. Like one thing that I've found that surprises me, and I think it's from the swimming, is that I've gotten way better at just doing like handstands against a wall.
Yeah.
Which like you'd never think that doing an Ironman would help with that, but it's literally just the swimming. I think your shoulders get
Oh yeah, dude.
better. You get like a little leaner too. So, but yeah, it's good. It's a commitment. I think you just got to keep the ball rolling. Like we said, the hardest part I think is just following through on your other commitments while also getting the training done. Like I was actually going to go to Chicago tomorrow, and I had to cancel just because it's too much with everything else.
Yeah.
And so it's really just about like knowing what your priorities are and being in a place where you can prioritize your training enough times that you actually get it done.
Yeah. So your buddy calls you, hey, Saturday, want to go to a Brewers game? Goggins kind of, hey, I got 4 hours of this. I have got to go get this bike looked at. I have to get my shoes. I have to like, no, but these are real conversations that people don't think about. It's like all the time spent, it's all worth it, right? Because you really want to do this. Yeah. But those are things that behind the scenes, like people don't realize it takes a lot more time and effort than, they just see like, oh, he swam this much and he did this and he did that. But there's also things behind that. There's extra time. There's research. There's, I got to do a cold plunge now. I got to take extra time and sleep more. I have to eat better. I have to do this. I have to, it's like all the things that you're doing. It does take up a lot of time and effort, right? And you were telling me you just feel like your brain is even like you don't have a lot of extra because you're working, you have the triathlon stuff. It's not like there's all this extra energy and you're bursting at the seams trying to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah.
This is eating up that energy, right? So I guess behind the scenes, there's a lot more to it, right? There's, so for someone that's looking to do something like this, it's pretty cool, but it does take a lot of effort and motivation, right? So talk about your motivation. Like what is getting you, up in the morning? I know internally you're just like, you want this, you want to finish it and do well. But talk about motivation a little bit. Like what is going on that end?
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, the motivation, it's definitely like, this is always something that I've had in the back of my mind. That's a really cool thing that people are able to accomplish. And I'd love to do it one day. I think the reason at this particular time in my life I'm motivated is like having just gotten married and turned 30 last year. I'm kind of like, just want to, it's like a good time to update your habits and your lifestyle. And so for me, it's like, hey, if I don't start kind of recommitting to like my health and to like building sustainable energy, it's not going to happen. Like, right, life is just going to keep getting more complicated and busy and layered. So it's like, this is a good time to just be like, hey, what are my priorities? Like, how am I going to keep health like high on my list of priorities, I guess. And for me, that's like a really good, clear way to do it is like, hey, I'm going to try to do an Ironman this year. And yeah, just kind of like again, it's being 30. It's like, again, like I'm kind of getting out of the phase. It's not like every weekend I have friends that are like, oh, let's go drink, let's go travel, let's go whatever. And so I have more time for it and more just like mental capacity, and yeah, it's just a good timing for me. So
that's a good way to think. Yeah. But even, so you turn 30, this is something new. You've done some smaller triathlons. You've never done a full Ironman. So I just respect that so much, as a trainer and coach. I've coached so many people and done a lot of different things, right? Different sports. I think motivation is up and down for a lot of people, and it changes over time. So, it's like, it's interesting because you're kind of bringing more of a, hey, this is better for my life. This is a long-term change for me that you probably want to sustain it past the race, right?
Yeah.
So what I find sometimes is people just have the motivation of a race. And then like, how do I motivate you past the race? And I think Goggins, you kind of explained this well. For you, it's a little bit more. I mean, the race is part of what we're talking about, but I think you're trying to change your habits, your health, your cardio, but it's not just about this one race. It's about forever, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty cool because I think people get that mixed up sometimes, like they put a marathon on their schedule and, hey, I have my 3-month plan. I've heard this a lot. That's great. You work hard, you accomplish the goal. But then like what's next, right? So a lot of people don't know what's next. They don't know where am I going with that, right? So it's cool to hear like you kind of, it's hard in the moment here. And you can explain this more because we talked today. Maybe when you have kids in a few years, who knows, right? Am I still doing this? You don't have to answer that today, but this is a big deal cardio-wise for your heart, for your lungs, for your body, for your mind. And just, changing the habit of the everyday week, right? Like what it looks like. So, and I know we talked today, would you see yourself doing Ironmans in 5 years, or is that just, you're not quite sure right now?
I loved it. I mean, I would love to keep doing them.
Yeah.
If I stay healthy, I'd love to keep doing them for sure. I think for me, it's like, it's an opportunity to be like, you can't really hide when you're doing an Ironman. Like you have to do all the training, you have to follow the schedule, you have to stay disciplined. And you really have to just like dial in so many things. So for me, I look at it as like a good opportunity to kind of recalibrate myself. And like, I know I have a lot of goals that I want to accomplish in the years to come. And I'm in a place where I'm like pretty settled in terms of what my life looks like. So I'm like, hey, what better way to kind of set the tone for myself and just have like a milestone of like, I'm going to do my first Ironman and show up and get it done. And I think with like future, goals and endeavors I want to take on, whether it's like career or family, or being part of a community, like whatever it's going to be, for me, this is just a really good way to have like a higher level of accountability than I've ever had before. Cause you got to show up every day and do it. And I think a lot of people, like when you're in your early mid-20s, when you're like single, exploring, trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life, like that accountability isn't there as much because you're just you're trying to learn, right? Like you're just more in like that exploring phase. And I'm like, okay, well now I'm entering a chapter of like accountability where like I know that I want to have more impact in my career and have more kind of just like show others like that things can be accomplished, right? And less of just like learning and more of like trying to, just kind of enter my next chapter of life. It's like a good time to be like, okay, well, let's lock in and do this, and just prove to myself that I can do it, but also just, I don't know, enjoy it. Like learn to just trust a really big, difficult process and, just stay committed.
Does it remind you of anything that you did in academics? Like,
not really.
This is totally
Honestly,
different.
I was not like,
okay.
I feel like I did decent academically in my life.
Decent? You went to Dartmouth, for God's sake.
I was not like,
Goggins, an Ivy League guy here. I didn't, academics. Yeah.
I've done well academically, but it's not because of like, I was never like a grinder. I was more just like, I was just good at school.
I gotcha.
So honestly, like this for me is a whole different beast because like, I'm not a cardio fit person. Like in just my life.
I love.
I've never been like the guy that
you can lift
runs.
weights.
Yeah.
You're big dude, strong. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, effort wise, this might be the hardest thing.
Yeah. And
not just physically, but just like effort wise that you've ever done. I mean, this is how hard this is. Cause most people have never done a triathlon. They have no freaking clue. So I just so people understand how hard and difficult this is. And I've seen Goggins doing it. I'm not doing it myself. I'll be honest, I'm not, right? So like,
you just ran a half marathon last week.
I did a half because my wife basically, says, hey, if you don't have cardio, get out of here.
You can't live in the Krogman.
Get out of my house. And I love her for that, actually. So I've learned that in different ways. But Goggins, I had to change in a similar way because I was a football player, sprinter, fast, twitch, all those things, jumper.
Yep.
As soon as I realized that, one, my wife is kicking my tail in a half or a full marathon, I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And that's when I actually got interested in all kinds of cardio aerobic training, is just watching my wife do really well in races and watching her. I mean, I live with her. I observe everything she does, right? So something that I observed with her, she got obsessed with running, and it was a very big deal for her, to run a certain amount on a Monday, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm listening to your plan and how you're thinking about this. So Mondays were a certain thing, right? Wednesdays were a certain thing. What I had to do as a coach and a trainer is sometimes a reminder that, hey, let's Theragun at night because you beat the hell out of your body this week. Or on Friday, hey, let's be careful. Like, there's things that you did that you could be now injured because of, right? So it's always intriguing because you really have a good feel on the recovery side, but I'm just talking about, my wife and many endurance athletes struggle with, let's slow it down and realize like all the work we're doing is beating the hell out of our tissue and our muscles, right? Let's do the recovery work. Cold plunge is one thing, but like I saw Goggins had his boots on here. He can explain that, but he got his boots on before we went podcasting.
My compression boots. Yeah, Kyle walked in on my compression.
Yeah,
session.
what company did you get yours from?
They're Normatec.
Normatec. Yeah. So Normatec's a very famous compression boot, but it's just funny because I'm like, Goggins is actually really good at doing some of this stuff that most people struggle with. I actually would say that, like, a lot of endurance athletes I've encountered, they don't love that part, right? They love running. They love, let's bike, let's swim. I'm going to hammer this time on Monday or whatever day. But sometimes they struggle with like, hey, how does that make my body feel? They don't listen to the cues, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty impressed, Goggins, because you're listening. You're like actually thinking about those things, right? And I know you already talked about it a little bit, but man, it's like those are the things that are going to lead you to being okay on race day.
Yeah.
You can add to that. You can.
Well, I think that's just the way I'm wired. Like,
that's great.
I like comfort. I'm like a guy that likes comfort. So I'm like, honestly, like
he's chilling on the couch. He's got his coffee and his energy drink.
Well, yeah.
He's got his boots on.
That's what makes it worth it, man. For the long run, the long swim, I'm like, I don't really love the biking, but I love the getting in the cold plunge or putting on the whatever compression sleeves on your legs, or like doing the Theragun.
I'm so impressed.
That recovery is what makes it actually work.
I'm so impressed by that. Seriously, you don't even understand. I've dealt with so many endurance athletes. They hate that stuff. Most of them don't even. Yeah, sure, coach, right, or whatever, right. So I think it's pretty impressive because you're like, you actually want to do the stuff that matters outside of the running and the work, right?
Well, that's to where, for me, it is kind of like a puzzle, because it's like, if you do the right recovery, like if you sleep well, if you...
Talk about your sleep. How have you been sleeping through this?
I've just been lights out.
Yeah.
Like,
of course, right?
Better than
you're so tired, right?
I just started... I got my Garmin set up again, so it like just happened to start tracking my sleep, and I saw like every night is like 8.5 hours of just like,
because you're beat, dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is nice because you don't, like you get in bed and you kind of fall asleep without even realizing it. Which is, it just feels better. But yeah, no, it's like a puzzle where you go on like a run one day maybe, and it's just like a bad run. Like you just feel beat up, you feel exhausted, but then you go and like you cold plunge and you stretch and you maybe do some, like I go lift with you and we do some work on my shins or whatever. Then like you get back out and run and you're like, suddenly you're running a minute faster. Like, and you just pick up speed and you pick up comfort. And that's the thing that I think is addictive about it, is like you figure out the right balance, and next thing you know, it's like with the same effort you're just going faster, or like your heart rate's lower, or your recovery's easier. And that doesn't always go that way. Like I feel like for me, it's like 1 in every 5 workouts, I'll like surprise myself and it'll be really good.
Yeah.
And then like 1 in every 5 workouts, I'll just feel like I'm banging my head against the wall. And then whatever, the rest of the workouts are just kind of like, you're just getting them done.
But isn't that the truth? Most people think every workout's a PR day.
Yeah.
What you're saying is it's really just like, I just check the box. A lot of times I'm just checking the box. I'm not PRing a ton, but I'm doing sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Like any great athlete should know that you're not supposed to PR every workout. You're not supposed to win every race. But Goggins, I love what you just said. It's like, it's so important that you just show up. Right. And I think you kind of mentioned this to me, but like, that's kind of why triathlon training might be so nice is it's a little bit lower intensity. Yes, the volume kind of creeps up, but some days it's like, man, I feel like shit, but just start running, even if it's slow, and I'm checking the box today, right? Yeah. And that's kind of a big deal mentally and physically, right? Is like, yeah, I don't have to win a burpee race today because that sucks. Yeah. Because CrossFit it's more high intensity work. It just is. Yeah. You cannot get away with not doing a lot of high intensity in CrossFit. But triathlon training is completely opposite in a lot of ways. And I think it's really good for beginners. Yeah. Can you just move with that message? Because you're kind of telling me about it.
Yeah. And I think it's great because it's also like if you set a big goal of like, oh, I have to do an Ironman or I have to do whatever, some big event in a year, that's motivating. But like, particularly with the Ironman, like it's such a big goal that you're not going to get there without like 50 goals along the way. So it's like every week you have something you're kind of like striving for, or like one element you want to get better at, or like one body part that you want to recover. Like there's always something that you're kind of working on.
Yeah.
And I think that just helps me with everything because it's like, it helps with work. It helps with other goals too. Cause you're just like actively every day, like trying to figure something out or get a little bit better. And that is like the biggest thing for me is just like the consistent effort that like you feel motivated each day to get up out of bed and go like push. I'm like, I got to get this run in today because I want to do whatever. I want to go so far on my run on Sunday, or I want to do this many miles this week. It's like, you just feel that like accumulation of just like effort and goals, and yeah, it keeps you really motivated. I think because like for me in the past, something that I think maybe I've struggled with a little bit is like I always have big goals, but usually they're like almost like annual goals or like longer term goals.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it'll be like, hey, I want to get promoted in my job. Yeah. And maybe that's like a 2-year path, or I want to get to, I don't know, or I want to get to like whatever, this level of financial security or this achievement. But again, it's like, it's always like kind of an annual, like a year-long thing. And the Ironman kind of is that way too. Like it's, I decided I wanted to do this like 7 or 8 months before the actual race, but I don't know, there's just like a different level of accountability where I feel like, at least for me, it's working really well right now, where it's like every week I feel like there's something that I'm like motivated for. And I'm someone who like has always procrastinated my goals. Yeah. So it's like, I was this way since I was in like, middle school, where like I wouldn't do the writing assignment till the night before. Yeah. And like with a triathlon, like that just doesn't work.
You just kind of can't wait, right?
Yeah. Like
you got to do the work consistently.
Yeah. I even told you like in the past races I've done, like a marathon I did, or like some half marathons or like smaller triathlons.
You kind of stop training.
Yeah. I procrastinated those two, honestly. I get to a point in the training where it was like, I knew I could finish in like a decent time. Yeah.
And then I would
just go do something else. I'd be like, all right, like check that box. When race day comes, I'll finish this. And I just start thinking about something else. But like this one for me, it's such a long race, and it's like, you have to stay consistent, because even if you like stop training a month out or whatever, your body's not going to be able to do it. Yeah. When the race day comes. So yeah, just like a level of commitment that is just keeping me really accountable, and it's been fun to keep it going. So
how has it changed your Saturdays? Because Saturdays are your hardest. So let's take you back. Let's say last year at the same time, end of April, on a Saturday. Like what has changed about your Saturdays? I specifically want to know, like, this is how I've had to change my life, and you seem to enjoy it, but what would last year at the same time look like on a Saturday?
Yeah, I'd sleep in and golf. That's like my ideal day.
Yeah.
I would definitely sleep in, eat a big breakfast, and golf or watch sports or hang out with a friend or something. Like this last Saturday, I was doing triathlon related stuff all day. Like I literally woke up, I went and dropped my bike off to get, like to have them build it before I get fitted. Then I went and got my shoes figured out. And I also did a 2.5 hour bike, and I swam 2.4 miles, and I then ran for like 1.5 miles. And by the time that was all done, like I did some recovery, made dinner, Man, I got home from work and I was like, all right, bedtime.
Yeah, I'm tired.
So it was literally like, yeah, like because the thing is, you spend a couple hours, or Saturdays usually at this point for me, it's like at least 4 hours of training. And then when that's done, like all you want to do is eat a big meal and then just face plant on the
You have
couch.
nothing
Like,
left, right?
Yeah, you got nothing left.
I don't even know. Did you realize how much your life has changed because of this training? Because that's pretty significant change from 1 year ago, right?
Honestly, not really. Because it's like you slowly build. Like every week, you basically add like an hour of cumulative exercise throughout the course of the week.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you kind of reel it back in and you get a little more and then back and a little more. So it's like a slow accumulation and you don't really notice it until suddenly you're like, oh, wow, I just spent like this whole day exercising or recovering. But it's good. Like you get to a point where you just kind of like want, like your body craves it. Cause like I feel like now if I go more than 24 hours without doing some sort of cardio, like I start to just feel a little bit like antsy.
Yeah.
Cause I am in this, you get into this place where like your new kind of calibrated energy state is like very mellow.
Yeah.
But then you got to go burn, like keep kind of burning. And like, yeah, if you don't do that, suddenly I feel like your
body's off.
Yeah, you get like out of whack, kind of get imbalanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. And yeah, we'll see. I'm just excited to keep seeing it unfold. To me, it's almost just like a fun experiment of like, okay, like how far can I take this? And I think, for the first Ironman, my goal is purely just to finish. My kind of secondary goal is to finish and feel like I was racing the whole time. So that's kind of like a qualitative thing, right? But basically, like if I cross the finish line of the marathon portion and I feel like I raced that marathon, that's like to me the whole goal.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus being like even if racing means like walking and running and mixing and trying to power walk, like I just want to feel like my head's in the game.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
like rated on RPE. So let's say 10's the hardest thing and you're like dying, right? What do you want the swim to feel like on race day out of 10? What do you want that to feel like?
I think the swim should be like a 6.
6. Bike 7, 8.
7 or 8.
What is the run? 10 out of 10?
I think the run is like no matter what, you're going to be toasted.
It's going to be 10 out of 10.
The last 5 miles of the run.
Yeah.
Because even if whether you're the most elite athlete in the field or someone just trying to break the 17-hour cutoff, like just for your body to go that far, like you're always going to go all out in the last few miles of the run. And like probably everybody has like their body cramp up and they're fighting back. They're fighting consciousness, but like, I think you want to leave it all in the field, but you also want to like not bonk, right? Like you want
to be smart about it.
Yeah. So I'm I have no idea what it's going to feel like yet, but like I imagine when you get to mile 20 of the run, like no matter what you have left, you're going to be fighting for it.
Yeah.
But I do finally like this on Saturday when I swam 2.4, biked 40, and then ran 1.5. Just getting off the bike, like after that, and also the whole week of like just cumulative work and starting the run, that was like the first time that I was running and I was like, I have some idea of what this is going to feel like on the race day.
Yeah.
Which to me felt like a new kind of milestone. Cause I was like, even just being on my feet running after that amount of volume and like the whole week of training. Cause again, I had like biked a cumulative 90 miles that week. I had run 20 miles. I had swam 4. So like pretty close to like what the day of would be. And I'm like, okay, so this is kind of like simulating what that is going to feel like. And yeah, it's good. Cause I'm like gun to my head. I could probably finish this if I had to. Like, and so even just having that mental, like, okay, it is in me somewhere when the race comes, right? Like I'm going to have to show up and do it, but like physically I have it in me. So
did you feel like it was Murph legs? Like after you finish the squats, you start to run on that last mile.
Yeah.
Does it feel similar?
It's so much worse.
Yeah.
Because the thing about
a lot of people experience that.
Yeah.
Legs are freaking shot. They can't move.
It's just different. Cause like the Murph, you're just totally shot.
Yeah.
But that's more of like you just beat the crap out of your muscles and like your muscles are just completely done.
Yes.
to me, the Ironman is almost more of like a skeletal thing.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like it's the pain you feel is
Much different volume. Yeah, we're not talking the same thing.
Yeah, it's
Murph is a lot easier.
yeah. Well, like I said, it's your shins that we're really getting me, but it's also like your spine and your posture and like
Everything. Yeah.
It's to me it more goes to like kind of your it's like your internals. So like what helps me when you feel that level of just like fatigue is just focusing on your posture.
Yeah, just stay tall.
Yeah.
Eyes forward, burn the laser ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like your posture and your stride and just like just kind of focus on like the inputs into your running stride.
Yeah.
And don't worry about your time. Just like kind of keep falling forward.
Yeah. Because it actually loosens as you run.
Yeah.
Right. So like as I get
better.
Half mile in, I actually feel better. Right. I get that blood flow. I get the posture working. My muscles catch up to what I'm doing. Some of that fatigue off the bike is, still there, but you feel better, right?
Yeah. And the big thing for me now is like just trying to figure out the nutrition.
It's hard, right? Because how many, on the race course, what do they give you guys?
There's gels everywhere. And
Yeah.
I have like some drinks. The sponsor is this gel called like Morton, which I bought a bunch of and I've been just like using to practice.
Yeah.
I think my goal is you basically try to do like 100 grams of electrolytes an hour of the biking and the running.
Yeah.
But like, I think
on Saturday, how much weight did you lose?
So I actually haven't been losing as much weight lately because I've been like bringing in the nutrition.
Yeah.
Like I've been like when I go on, like I biked for 2.5 hours. My legs I was dead even starting that. I went like 42, 43 miles. Which is a bit slower than what I actually want to do on the race day. But anyways, I went through like 2 Gatorades, an electrolyte mixed drink, like 4 gels, an orange. Like
Yeah. So you're just hammer. Okay.
Yeah, it's just constant. And that's because also like I tend to do like more nutrition and carbs when like I'm just the more fatigued I feel when I start the workout.
Of course. Yeah.
Because like some days, like literally you're just not going to get it done unless you're like drinking Gatorade constantly or like something just to keep your sugar high. But like if I were to do it without fueling, like you would lose 10 pounds easy when you do it. Like before I actually even started doing, because the first like few weeks of the training, I was not doing any carbs while I was exercising. And I would easily lose 5 to 10 pounds. Like even in just like an hour run, you lose 5 pounds.
Yeah. Well, a ton of fluid loss, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to prevent fluid loss and not passing out or having real issues, you got to do that, right?
Yeah.
That's what that's what I was wondering. Like on the race course, they probably don't give you like specific things or protocols, but for example, at the half marathon I ran over the weekend, they were a little light on water and Gatorade.
Yeah.
So if you were at the higher end of that race, questionable if they had enough there for you, right? So that's always a hard part. Like how much are you bringing of your own stuff? How much is on the race course? I've always, in my past experiences, we always bring some type of sugar on the course just in case, right? You just don't know what they're going to have. And I think it's obviously key, right? Making sure you don't bonk out. I actually studied in college, we studied the marathon for running. And basically at mile 16, you have no carbs left in your body if you don't obviously replenish them. Mm-hmm. And I always I never understood it. I didn't, I never had run a marathon in college. We just we're looking at the physiology. So it's like, why in the hell would you why do you bonk out at 16 miles, 17 miles about there? And the science is actually very clear. Like you actually deplete all of your glucose. And then you have to go to secondary resources to get energy, right? Mm-hmm. So as soon as I count on other things other than carbs to have energy, I feel like absolute garbage, right? And people don't really people do this ketone diet. There's all kinds of things out there. And that's fine, but usually carbs are the king, right? Because carbs give you the most power and output. And you can get away with just keto diet stuff too, right? Like, cause you're saying you're pretty heavy on the carbs. People get away with keto stuff. They can still do all this stuff without any carbs. It just doesn't feel as good, right? So to me, there's always this argument, keto versus heavy carb use. And I would always go heavy carb use. I don't know why you wouldn't. I know people are out there saying you should, get rid of those carbs and sugar. During a race like yours, I think it makes the most sense to have carbs around you at all times. And obviously having a liquid IV or there's a lot of different types of electrolyte drinks, but it's like, I don't get why people wouldn't do this constantly, but there are people on the other end of this keto only. I'm not going to take any sugar in during the race. I'm like, and they get away with it and they feel fine. But I think for the body does like carbs and sugar in the moment, and it actually powers you through and makes you go a little bit faster. Usually the keto based athletes are a little bit slower because that's just, fats are a little bit harder to digest and use for energy. And that's, anyone that went through physiology knows that, right? Like carbs are the main source for power and energy. But yeah, I was wondering on that end, are you like, you've never probably thought of going no carb, but like, what are you noticing? What foods specifically other than the gels have really helped you?
Yeah. I feel like I just like with my nutrition, I do better when I just keep it simple and kind of like listen to the cravings that I have.
Yeah.
Like before I started training, it was like, the next morning, I'd always feel the best if for dinner, I basically had like a really high protein meal.
Yeah.
And it was like, whenever I would have carbs, I'd wake up with like a stomach ache or a headache. So I kind of like slowly got to a point where I had like a pretty low carb diet just cause like I didn't feel good after I ate a bunch of carbs. But it's like, as I've gone through this training, now it's becoming the opposite where like
you have to have
when I eat carbs, like the next day, I just feel so much better, like energy wise.
Because you're using the carbs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like your body just feels good when you're kind of burning what you give it. And so, like I've been totally craving carbs. Like I've been eating a lot of pasta. And like throughout the day, I just have a lot of fruit. I started eating just a lot more bananas and mandarins. Mandarins are like actually really good.
Yeah.
And just like protein bars. And I do find like I'm just like snacking throughout the whole day because I'm just,
you're hungry all the time.
Like every if I go out,
your engine's burning.
Like
yeah.
And when I actually like eat when I'm hungry, then the workouts on those days go better.
Yeah.
Because there's some days I'll get like stuck in the office and I don't eat lunch or something, and then when I go work out, then I just feel.
Well, then you're trusting like ketones to give you the power. You're going to more of the fat source. Again, people get away, like people do this. There's books about this. I've read them, but it's like, wow, personally, I just think it makes more sense to have a carb heavy diet when you're endurance training, like you are, Goggins, because it just makes you feel better. That's the easiest way to put it. Yeah. You could go keto diet. You could still do the same workouts. You just don't feel as good. I'm telling you. And I've tried it a little bit fast. You can fast and kind of see how you feel with fasting, right? Because a lot of times with fasting, you don't have any glucose in your system. So you trust fat to kind of push your workout, and it just doesn't feel as good. And now if it's a lower intensity workout, like you're kind of doing zone 2, you can get away with it. It's just when you start pushing hard and your heart rate's high and you're like, I'm going to try to win this race. Carbs make the most sense to get, the most out of it, right? The most output. It's kind of interesting. Like even Michael Phelps, think about when he was training, there's the famous stories about he was eating all these carbs and all the things he was doing. Nowhere in there did it say, he just had, fruit and rice. Dude, he was eating pancakes. He was eating whatever was in sight because he was training his absolute tail off and he needed calories, right? So calories and carbs are very, very important in this moment. So I still remember reading all that stuff. Like he's eating like 8,000 calories a day during certain parts of his training. So when you keep like your program's only going higher volume, right?
Yeah. I'm only like halfway to what I'm going to end up in like 10, 11 weeks. I'm going to be doing like,
and you're at 19 weeks left, right?
Yeah. So I have 21. I kind of started a little early.
Oh, okay.
So I got a couple filler weeks left to come up with stuff, but I'm also traveling a bit. So, but yeah, right now, like by the book, I'm on week 12 of 30.
Okay. So you got a lot of time left, as it ramps up. What is your feeling on it? Cause, I know it's like right now you're like, man, I feel like I'm accomplishing a lot. How do you keep your long-term vision on, hey, I still have 18 to 20 weeks left and
Yeah.
I'm going to do this thing, right? And I know you will, but how do you get yourself to that point?
Well, the plan even is like they have the base phase, build phase, and peak phase is what they call them, each like 10-week block. And I'm just getting to the build phase. So even like just that mentality of like, all right now it's like I'm going to be adding volume. It's kind of like the first 10 weeks were about like just getting comfortable with each of them. Like I got to a place where I can actually now swim the whole distance. I have done a couple bike rides that were over 50 miles. I have run a couple half marathons. So like I've done enough of each of them that I'm like totally rested. I know I could do each of the three. And now it's about like this next block is actually a lot of shorter workouts that are supposed to be like faster. And it's like more days, like almost every day you're doing at least 2 of the 3. So it's starting to like get your body comfortable with like combining the different exercises and going faster and like just kind of improving your ceiling of like, you know, how fast could you go on a bike or on a run. So it's to me, it's just like having those continual like benchmarks, like your kind of your mini goals week to week within the program. So you're like staying motivated. And just like, I mean, the biggest thing is nutrition. It's like figuring out how to calibrate and tune your body so that like you're feeling good. And I do feel like I keep getting better at that every week, where it's like more workouts are generally pretty good because I'm generally pretty well fueled and sleeping well. And I feel like it snowballs. Like cardio is definitely a sport where like your commitment and diligence just snowball because like the small things get easier and your heart keeps getting stronger and your body gets more efficient and it's fun. And the biggest thing that just keeps me motivated is like you can just suddenly you look back and you're like, man, the things I'm doing now, if I like 3 months ago knew I could do that, I'd be like, just shocked. So it's fun to just see.
You're even seeing progression now, but you know how far you're still going to go and how far you've come, right?
Yeah. And I'm excited to see, like, to me, the funnest thing is just like, okay, like I'm a 30-year-old healthy guy. I should be able to do really well. Like, let's see if we can figure this out. Like, let's get the right program and the right kind of things tuned so that I can do well. And then like ultimately when you actually do the races, it's like, all right, on race day, you just kind of let go of expectations and just enjoy like the racing aspect and like the environment. But I'm just excited to just kind of do some of the bigger training workouts and see how they go. And just continuing to get more comfortable doing like hard workouts.
Yeah.
So, and also just like, just kind of keep trying to grow and like have fun along the way and just keep going.
Well, can you, I know we're getting close to our time here, but can you explain like how your heart has changed so much? So when I first started training, you had some heart things, that a doctor had kind of said, hey, maybe you should focus on either training or cardio or whatever, nutrition, go down a list of things, right? But, while you're going through this process, most people, I would say, Goggins, like, okay, never had a heart issue. Mm-hmm. Obviously, start doing triathlon training, all good. I don't think you've really felt much of those things that you felt, and those were multiple years ago. But has it just like, wow, I'm like, I don't feel any issue. I don't feel, I guess, any of those things that, man, I was 27 feeling this, and now I'm 30 and I'm doing all these things. Does your heart, do you feel something there, or is it like it's just not really a thought now?
It's not really a thought now. I think I like with the heart stuff, I kind of like came to terms with it. Like, hey, I can't really control whatever's going to happen with my heart. It's going to happen with my heart.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything that serious. It was just like, it was called like a Winky Bach, which is like just every now and again, your heart kind of like misfires. But it wasn't even that bad. But it was a little bit of like a gut check of like, oh damn, like I'm 27 and I'm going and seeing like a cardiologist. Like this isn't what you're supposed to be doing when you're 27.
Yeah.
So I feel like if anything, it's like I'm actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing with my body now. Like
there you go. Okay.
What our bodies are designed to do, right? Like
More hunter gatherer kind of.
Yeah, like getting
stuff,
out and
yeah.
using your body, and like I am supposed to have a big appetite and eat a bunch of good, healthy food and then go burn it all off. Like that's kind of what we're meant to do.
Yeah.
But I think like so many people, I was in a pattern where I was living in a city, I was going to an office every day, I was sitting at a desk, eating out all the time, drinking a bunch of coffee, like exercising, but like not on a consistent routine. Didn't have like clear goals. It was more like just kind of hang out until the right opportunity comes my way. So like just very different. Whereas now it's like, you know, intentionally setting goals and putting in work to get them done. So yeah, it's been like a great transition and just change in lifestyle. And yeah, I feel like the Ironman is like just like a fun next step in the progression. And then after that, it's like, who knows, we'll set some next goals and keep the drive alive and
Become the next Iron Cowboy, but you'll be the Iron Goggins.
I don't know. So I will. I'm not doing any more than an Iron. That is like the one thing I've learned is like one Ironman is enough.
Yeah.
And maybe like one a year or like one every, you know.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
I don't know how some of these people do
That Iron Cowboy documentary, that pulled me in. I mean, I know he's crazy, but not stuff that I want to do. I could watch that all day. I freaking love that stuff because again, it's like, I mean, that person specifically, that's what they wanted to do was 50, you know, full Ironmans, I believe in 50 days, something like that. And, you know, that's not something that everyone should make their goal, but I just think it's interesting to see that person going through it. And maybe that's a bigger deal. You know, for me, watching Goggins do some of the stuff that he's doing, you know, I'm not the one doing the work. I mean, I'm here to support him, help him, guide him, help him, do whatever I can. But like, I love watching documentaries of like, wow, that person did that. They accomplished this goal. And then what's next? And I think with the Iron Cowboy, it's funny. It's like, he's still doing stuff. He's still, I think he fundraises money. He does all kinds of stuff that's good for the world. But also the documentary was pretty entertaining. So hopefully people listen to Goggins here and like, here's something that might help them, right? Because the piece that I just want to speak to right there that he just said, he was living in Boston. He had a corporate, you know, job. He was super successful. Like most people would say, wow, you have the dream thing going. And I think at the time you probably felt like it was really good, a dream, whatever it may be. But now you added like, wow, I'm doing all this training. This is different. This isn't the same thing as a lot of people think of the dream, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Well, I think at that time,
explain that to some people because, you know, you were living most people's dream. You know, you were in a position of what most people think they want. So explain what the difference is now versus what it was.
Well, I think for me, that's like just it. I was living most people's dream.
Yes.
Like I was living the dream that had been told to me was my dream.
Ooh.
Like literally.
Go deeper on that.
Well, it's like you go to that. It's like everyone tells you you're in high school, you have the opportunity to go to Ivy League school.
Yeah.
You should do it. Okay, I did it. You should get into engineering and go into software because it's growing and go work at a big tech company. I did that. You should go live in Boston or New York or a big city because that's the place to be. Like I did that. You know, you should get promoted and do it. Like I was doing these things because I was always hearing like that's the thing that will make you happy, or like that's the thing that will give you the next level. So I kind of like kept following. Like I was really good at procrastinating, but also like doing the thing that was told to me. Like this is what you should do because this is like the smart thing. But I wasn't like setting my own goals and my own dreams, and I wasn't like reaching for the things that I wanted. I didn't even know what I wanted.
Yeah.
But now it's like at age 30, the goals that I'm setting and going for like are the ones that I'm like, I want that goal. Like, even if it's not what other people tell me is the goal, I think I'm more aware of what my own goals are. And like, hey, I want to do an Ironman. I want to try to build my own office in Wisconsin. I want to, whatever, get a horse with Hannah and go do that. So it's like, I'm kind of like just more aware of what are my goals and then consciously going after those and like building habits and routines that get me closer to my own goals, not the goals that other people are kind of telling me, or like, I'm not kind of like defaulting to what's the statistically best thing to do for yourself. I'm more like, what's the actual thing that I want to do for myself and I'm reaching for that. So that's like way more enjoyable. Cause like when you're chasing goals that are like your own dreams and not dreams kind of offered to you by others, again, like not to say I don't appreciate all that. Like I'm really appreciative of all the guidance I've gotten and these goals that others kind of help me find along the way. And there are huge benefits to those goals, right? Like they were things that have really helped me get to where I am today. But I'm just in a place now where it's like I'm consciously setting my own goals and doing the things I need to do to get to them. And when you're able to do that, like you enjoy the process so much more because you don't feel like someone's giving you homework or you don't feel like, you know, you have to go do this.
You're not in class, right?
Yeah.
You're the one dictating the next step.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? And then how am I going to build my day so that I can get there? And you just kind of, you know, you kind of put yourself in the driver's seat and then like figure out how to chart your course to where you want to be. And yeah, so I think it makes you feel more free and it makes you feel more satisfied when you ultimately get there. Because it's not like you just get there and then you look up and you're like, hey, what's the next thing I should do? Actually, getting there, like that was where you wanted to be in the first place. So you're like, and you can just kind of be in it. And yeah, you're enjoying the journey more, not just chasing what people tell you should chase.
That's a big deal. I mean, seriously, right? Most people are motivated by, I mean, one, maybe the money of a Boston, New York, whatever it may be. And mind you, like money's not bad. That's not what we're saying. No. But I think Goggins is saying what I'm understanding. He just finally decided this is where I want to go with what I'm doing and how I'm using my time. And I think that's pretty cool because it's like, for a lot of people, that's hard, right? They get stuck in a pattern. All of a sudden they're 50 years old looking back at their life. What the hell did I do? You know, I was doing a lot of things that were good. Mm-hmm. But maybe like internally, I never checked with myself to see, yeah, maybe I should have gone this path, right? I should have done this. And this is who I truly was. And they wait too long, or maybe they figure it out a little bit younger. But you know, I think Goggins and I both, like we both try to reach for things that are going to make or people around us better, trying to make ourselves better. We're trying to, we're trying to search for things that are, I guess trying to help the whole world, but we're obviously in one place, but, I think the way you're thinking about things, that's a big deal, right? That's leadership. You're taking kind of control of your own thought processes and not just going with the flow and what everyone else says, this is what I'm going to do as well. And I'm very much like that too. And I think a lot of people are like, why did you do that? Right. Or why did you go this way with that? Or, it's very common to, if you're the person that's not doing what everyone else says you should do, they kind of question you. Right. Mm-hmm. And I think, we got to do what's true to ourselves. And I think that's the bigger point. And for me, I have 3 little kids now, and I'm like, the things I've chosen to do in the last 2 or 3 years are all about my family. Right. And Goggins, you're setting yourself up for some similar situations where, it's like, you're going to make those decisions. You're going to do things for your family. You're not going to do things for, unfortunately, a lot of people do things for the external, rewards or whatever it may be. But, when you start protecting your family and you start really dialing in your faith and all these things that we've talked about, I know you do this. So it's like when those things kind of come together, your family blossoms, and then your fitness, like you're kind of dealing with your triathlon. It's like, that's cool. It's so special when you can find something that motivates you and guides you and pushes you to this different level. Right. Mm-hmm. For me, I've never done a triathlon, but I respect what you're doing so much. And, hopefully we portray it pretty well on the podcast. I think people I hope they enjoy hearing this stuff, but, go on.
And I think that's like totally the essence of what we're trying to do. And we're still getting better at it. We're still like figuring out how to do a podcast, how to share our experiences. But like the essence of it is, I think both of us are trying to be open with like what we've done in our lives, kind of decisions we've made and why, and our motivations, and kind of just open up the floor and give other people just some time to like listen and think about like, what are my motivations? What do I want? What am I like, what's in my way? What am I kind of getting blocked up on? How can I free myself up and go after the things that I really want, or even just spend time finding my own goals and then my own motivation to chase them. I think that's kind of the core of what we're trying to do here, is just build a setting where people can think about like what their goals are and set them, and stay motivated and, just hear a little bit about what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and like just get after it and enjoy the process
and work hard in the process of all of it. Right. But
yeah. And like the whole Ironman is like, I think for me, the thing that I'm excited about with it is like, I don't want it to be something where it's just like a vanity project or whatever. Right? I don't want it to be like, oh, I did an Ironman, or like, I don't really care even that I am doing an Ironman, honestly. Like, I don't really care. What I care about is first of all, just focusing on my health, the discipline, and then like just sharing it with other people. Like, to me, that's the coolest part about it is the community. Like, my brother-in-law did one last year, seeing him do that and just like the environment there and how there was so much like camaraderie and, energy, and just like getting to meet some other people when you go to the pool and you talk to someone about like, what's their journey been like, what are they working on? Yeah. Or like a guy that I met who's like helping me get fitted for my bike. Like he raced his bike in the Olympics and he's got really cool stories. So he just like tells me those here and there. Yeah. And like just kind of like finding that community, and being a part of it, and then trying to like keep extending it to others and like share, just like build a platform where we can share those like positive energy and good vibes and motivation, and kind of show people that like, hey, these things that seem really hard, like it really all just comes down to the inputs and the enjoying the journey and finding community in it. So
I love that. And we're here, like you said, we're kind of here. It's like a podcast, obviously, where we're talking about a lot of different subjects, but we're here to basically serve people, right? So, I do that for a living. I feel like during the week, I serve a lot of other people, and I love that. And why am I successful, or why is Goggins successful? It's like, if I'm choosing to serve other people, which is what we're called to do, it's like, the other stuff will take care of itself. And even like the podcast with, some of the football stuff, I know that's way different than what we're doing today, but I think we're just trying to send a message of like just positive things. But, we're really trying to serve people. We're trying to help people. We're trying to, even today, maybe you heard something that's going to guide you into, hey, maybe I should try some of that, right? Yeah. Who knows? But, it's like whatever we can do to serve people is kind of the key. And we'll kind of use our own gifts to kind of help you as much as we can. But, and I know we're limited on time today, but I think we're going to come back Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be back Thursday. We won't talk about the Ironman. We won't talk about training. We'll come up with some better topics.
Well, no, this is fun. This is special. It's like this in general for me. If anyone's still listening, is such a big deal, and I think it adds a lot of value to my life. It's funny. It's like $0 have been added on this specific thing, but again, it's not about that. And I think Goggins and I kind of have talked about that. I just truly feel value. I truly feel, even if 10 people listen to this full thing and like get something out of it, that's kind of a big deal, right? Like I guess that's how anything great starts. But it's like, we're just here to serve you. So the other thing is too, if anyone has questions, they should send them to Goggins about the triathlon or anything like that. So
we got a couple questions from Tom. We'll have to answer them on Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Tom Gall, shout out to you.
Number one listener.
You're an amazing guy, number one listener, and we'll try to answer a few of your questions on Thursday. But
yeah, for sure. I think we got Thursday coming up, and a friend of mine and a coworker, this guy's like brilliant about AI, and he's a CrossFitter. I'm going to get him on a podcast at some point. So
hell yeah.
That'll be fun too.
Yeah.
So we got more good stuff coming, and just keep trying to build some good energy and some good vibes.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, it's all too easy. Woo!